Hello everyone, how lovely to see you all again. Today it's another tier list to be made, and today we're talking about songs from Moldova in Eurovision. And there aren't that many of them, so maybe I can finally keep a video below 20 minutes in runtime. Well, I'll make no promises because if I know myself, I will exceed that by simply talking like I'm doing right now. So without further ado, I'll try and keep it a bit shorter today because there aren't that many songs to talk about. We're going to start from the year 2005, and I think most people are familiar with the effort that Moldova decided to debut with, which means that I don't really have to pronounce the title of it because I won't be able to do that. It's something about grandma beating a drum, which we can see in the photo as well. I think this is a great way to debut. They really kind of steal the limelight right away. It won't go unnoticed that Moldova decided to debut this year in Eurovision. And the result also reflected on that. I think it's a bit weird to look back and see that a song like this managed to do so incredibly well, but it's also quite nice, I think, to see that. Um, I get enjoyment out of this song. I think like the intensity of it is remarkable and how energetic it is. I quite like that, and it's just chaotic. Like the instrumental of the song is all over the place in a what could be for some people considered a negative way, and for some people maybe they just love it. I'm not like ecstatic over it, but I still get a lot of fun from it because of how the performance matches that vibe that the backing track and the song as a whole has. Because the vocals are also really intense and always in your face, but it just works because there's so much going on stage. I think it could be a bit tiresome to just watch this performance if you're not in the mood. But when I'm in the mood, which I usually am, I just have a lot of fun watching this. So I think this is a really great entry. It's a particularly great debut, like a great way to debut. I love the fact that they decided to to send this right away, not really care about trying to appeal to the masses. They just wanted to show that we're here, and you better notice us. Really great entry from Moldova there in 2005. I like it. 2006, they didn't quite follow up with that. I think they still have that kind of approach that, yeah, you will notice the fact that we're participating because this is equally remarkable and I guess, but not maybe in such a positive way. I don't really care for this song that much. The guy who rides on a scooter back and forth on stage to perform his rap verses is, I mean, it's iconic, I guess. The vocals throughout the song are quite like they're solid. They're not bad or anything, but the song is just simply not for me. And there are so many times at the song where I feel like, yeah, you can tell this is 2006. Was it really cool back in 2006? It wasn't. It really wasn't. I remember this and I thought it was a bit eh already back then. Even though I was much more fond of the hook as an what was I 10 year old, um, than I think it is now. I think the hook is quite incredibly weak today. I think it's very one note and not very interesting. But back then, back when I was a kid, I used to actually really enjoy this hook. But now I just kind of zoned out from this song. I don't really care for it. I think the performance is, while it is ambitious with all of the clothes changes and the fact that they're doing so much gimmicky stuff with the guy on the scooter and the backdrop and everything, I just don't really care for it that much. I'll put it in the I like it but category because I think the ambition is definitely there for this one, and I can kind of appreciate that. It's just that the song doesn't click for me, the performance doesn't click for me. It's nothing really clicks for me, in all honesty. But I still have a soft spot for it for some reason. 2007, however, wow, this is a standout. I think really engaging song. Like the backing track is very like powerfully driven, like the whole rock arrangement with the hard hitting guitars and the engaging drumming and everything, it just works. And then there's this violin that's kind of the main instrument in the song, which works. Like it adds such a nice flavor to the whole package here, which I really like. I think the chorus has a very memorable hook. The verses have some cool guitar riffs, like they're very deep down in the register, which really offer a lot of this distorted power into the verses, which creates a perfect setting for the vocals to be a bit, they're being carried with some drama, the verses, I think, and then the chorus is like this release of that drama, which still has a lot of intensity and a very nice melody. I think this is a fantastic entry. Ambitious performance as well. I like the backdrop. I like the colors. I like the whatever they're doing on stage. All the members on the stage. Fantastic effort. One of the strongest in 2007, if you ask me. Which maybe you don't, but hey ho. And then 2008 comes along, and this it always makes me a bit sad. Like, I like this song. I think it's very pleasant to listen to. It's not a song meant for the big stage. It's a bit, for the it's a very minimalistic type of song. But I like the instrumental a lot. I think there's the whole instrumentation of it is really great. It has an atmosphere and an ambiance which I'm really fond of. It's quite cozy. It's very, as I said, minimalistic and restrained, and it just makes me really follow along with the song quite in a mellow and nice mood. I feel very relaxed listening to it, and it still also has so like a storytelling aspect as well, which is quite sorrowful. So I quite enjoy it. I also like the way they staged it. It's just that it doesn't really work for a big stage in that way. It could have been scaled back even more, but I think this is really great. I get a lot of enjoyment out of this one, and I get that that's controversial because I've never seen anyone talk about this song in a positive way, like ever. But I'll start that trend, and maybe I'm the only one who participates in it. But nonetheless, if you do like this song, you should write in the comments, because I'm looking for people who who can join me on the hype train for the Moldovan entry from 2008. It's kind of a shame to see that that's the only non-qualifier, because we're getting a lot of, like, all of these songs that followed up here qualified. So that's a bit, but that also speaks about volumes about what quality they used to send here, Moldova. 2009 is fantastic. So much energy, such a fun approach. I love the playfulness of it. I love the character that it has. You can definitely tell where this song is coming from. You would never see a Sweden or a UK send this type of song. You know where this one is coming from, and that's very obvious on stage as well with the insane performance. It's just there to really get a lot of people engaged into it and have fun, and I just love that. This one screams through the TV screen. It screams through to the audience. Just lovely, wonderful performance. The song is so full of energy and so much playfulness that I can't stop smiling whenever I see it. Love it. 2010 is, of course, quite an iconic piece just because of the sax guy. The song on its own isn't really too interesting for me. I think there are things about it that are quite enjoyable. I mean, the violin parts are also really strong in the song. And the chorus is, it's quite in the middle of the road, I guess. It has a nice melody to it. I like the vocal combinations, but it's just the transitions that keep coming to the saxophone parts that just kind of pushes it over the line and makes it really enjoyable. A bit of a messy stage performance, I think, but that also kind of just adds to the charm. I don't know. I'm tempted to put this in the really great category, and I will. I'll be a bit lenient today, maybe. But I do think it's more than solid, so I'll have to put it in really great. I get a lot of fun from it, even though I think there are sections of the song that stand out more than others. 2011, So Lucky. It's just so absurd, isn't it? It's shouty, it's loud, I shouldn't like it, and yet for some reason I do. I really enjoy it. It's so absurd that I think what could put a lot of people off is the dynamic switches that the song has. It's very just odd how the more scaled back parts contrast with the all-out heavy, intense, like ska-inspired sections of the song. I just find so much charm in that too, though. And then you have the girl on the unicycle, the large, tall hats. It shouldn't work, and somehow it just works. Really great. I really enjoy it. Like every time this song comes on, I just have a blast. So yeah, they know how to win me over, the song group thing. Yeah. Then we have Lautar or something like that from 2012. This is another really great entry. Like, I have so much fun with this one as well. It's so catchy, it's so upbeat. The performance is so much fun. Like, they know what they're doing. They're having the time of their life, and it shows through the screen. And it's still, carefully kind of planned and executed, while also being able to really contribute this feeling of that it's kind of unprepared. It's a very charming piece of performing the song, a charming way of performing the song, and also the song matches that so well. I love the horns that come in and the hooks that they contribute. The vocal melody in the chorus is really strong. The verses might not be too outstanding, but it's just the overall package and presentation of this that I really, really enjoy. I think it's really great, and I think we're gonna continue with the really great Omiye. Here is a very nice ballad. Has a lot of power to it, a lot of drama. Really sets the tone beautifully. I love the dress as well, with the lighting on the stage and the lighting in her dress or on her dress, whatever you say. But the song, I think, is really strong. It backs it. Everything is just well thought out and well executed here as well. It's professionally put together. I like the song a lot. I think it has a lot of power and a lot of drive for being a ballad. It could easily have been too scaled back, but they add, like, the grit is very prominent in this song, which I like. And a very strong vocal performance as well. Just great altogether. And now comes the Moldovan kind of, I wouldn't call it a collapse, but that's kind of what I feel when I look at the songs that have preceded here. There are so many great ones. And then Wild Soul it's a bit odd, like the whole dubstep inspired choruses are a bit, like, I think mainly they've just aged more poorly than maybe they were at first, because, like, dubstep was a genre that maybe not always sounded that great production-wise back in the day, but it was forgiven because it was such a fresh and new kind of type of music. It's very easy to go back 10 years in time and listen to a dubstep song and think, wow, this sounds horrendous. But there are also songs, I think, that have had a lot of dubstep inspiration that are produced incredibly well. And those kind of still hold up, which is quite remarkable. This, however, falls into the first category. I think it sounds quite poor. It's very empty and weak in the drive that the backing track has, which kind of just makes the rest of the song fall flat. I don't think there's much of a cohesive song to start with, so that just doesn't really work for me either. It's a not for me. It's very... I guess it can be a bit admirable to just look at the song and see what they wanted to do, but it just didn't work for me personally. I'm the wrong audience for it, and I think it has aged quite poorly. 2015, this is not for me either. Not my type of music. The performance it's ambitious, but it's also not my thing at all. I'm not a big fan of the performance at all, and I'm not a big fan of the song either. It has a catchy hook there. But it's just not my type of music, and I don't really find anything in the song that I latch onto and that I think positively of, which is a shame. The energy is there, and it's done, like it's set. It has a purpose and it does what it wants to do, but it's just not for me. Simple as. 2016, Falling Stars. This is just kind of underwhelming, I guess. Like, the song is very, it's obvious that it wants to be, this very modern pop banger that could be played on the radio very easily. It's just that production quality of it doesn't hold up at all, which is a shame. I don't think the song on its own, like the songwriting aspects of it, are very interesting either. The performance is, I kind of like it in a way, like with the spaceman and the lighting, I think is quite pretty, but it all just falls flat. It's not for me, this one either, but yeah. I think production quality of this is the main letdown. Then we have Hey Mama. This is fun. I like the hook. I like the energy of the song. I like the performance a lot. The performance is done so flawlessly well. They have so much charisma. It's such a great performance. Yeah, I'll put it in fantastic. It's still absurd for me to think that this song finished third in overall, but it's it's done exactly what it wanted to do, and it's done in such a charming way. The song has a great hook to it. It's memorable. It stands out, and it's a great performance. Yep, I'll put it up in fantastic, but maybe it's not really third place fantastic, but still. I think another song that I would never, like when I first heard this song, I would never ever imagine myself putting it into the fantastic category, but here we are. The song it's upbeat, it has some charm to it, but the performance is everything about this one. You can't deny, even though you might like the song on its own in the studio cut, I would never, ever, ever go out of my way and listen to this in a studio cut when the performance exists. I want to see it. I want to see it every time I want to hear this song. I want to see them on the stage with this incredibly ambitious performance. It's so, so well done and so well executed. Just the main idea of it is incredibly strong, but the actual execution of it is what really sells it. They're so charismatic on stage. The what do you call it? The doppelgangers are also very charismatic, which just works. It's a fun storytelling aspect for the song that's being shown visually with this performance. I just love it. As I said, the song is hardly above solid for me personally, but the performance just elevates it multiple times. It's so much fun to watch, and so I have a great time every time. I can watch this performance over and over again and probably never get tired of it. It's just flawless. Come to think of it, like stagings have kind of been Moldova's thing in Eurovision, because 2019 here is also another time when the staging was actually quite strong. Of course, it's like kind of a remake of the 2000, what was it, 2010 song from Ukraine? No, 11, 2011. But still, Stay is just not a very interesting song, however, which is kind of really drags it down. But I like the performance, so I'll have to put it in here. But the song is too slow, too uninteresting. It tries to add a lot of power and have these hard-hitting choruses, but it just doesn't click. Doesn't have enough of an engaging melody, I think. Even though it's vocally performed quite strong, the melody isn't there, the songwriting isn't there, the instrumentation isn't really there either. So no, falls a bit behind in that. Then we have Prison. I like this one. I like the melody is a bit too repetitive. It's relying too much on the same melody being repeated. Even though I like the soundstage a lot and I like the sound design of the instruments that kind of really cover the melody, and I think her vocals fit the tone really well as well. The shouty prison notes are kind of, would have wished for a little bit more variety, but I think the backing track really just holds this song up a lot. I'll put it in solid because I don't quite think it's really great, but I really enjoy it. And I think that's mainly down to the instrumental and just the whole soundstage of the song. I think that's the main strength. And then comes Sugar, which, it's not the same type of song as Prison at all, but it's kind of on the equal level. I think I have a lot of fun with this song. I think the instrumental hook is really strong. It's structured a bit up and down. I think the breakdown towards the end is a bit like anticlimactic, but the hook is so strong. I think the instrumental is like produced quite well. There's a kind of a, what do you say, like a distinguished quality in the sound design of this song as well. Just sounds good, and the hook is very strong, even though it's quite repetitive and simplistic. It just works, and the choreography on stage just works as well. It's tacky, but it works. I have a lot of fun watching the performance as well. And then we have the Choo Choo Train song from Chisinau to Bucharest. It's so much fun. Like, the song, it's so overly repetitive. I can't listen to the song on its own, but just watching it, it's so absurd how they've combined this folk type of music with this incredibly hectic and hard-hitting rock style, and the shouty vocals just in the verses, and then how it transitions into the more, what do you say, like the older and more folky sing-along hook. It's just such an absurd combination, but it works, and it's so much fun to watch and so much fun to listen to. Really great. On the verge of actually being in fantastic, I think, but I'll keep it in here so that it just looks appealing to have their songs all in the same category with 2 songs between each one. Wow, how aesthetic I managed to make that look. But yeah, Moldova, when I look at it now, all of the songs here, it's quite, I'm quite fond of them in Eurovision. I never really thought of that, but they're quite strong, I think. Mainly it comes down to the stagings. I think they really nail the stagings a lot of the time. So now this kind of gave me a wake-up call. I'm super excited to see what they will give us in 2023. And that's my list, and I think we're over 20 minutes, so sorry about that. But yeah, do tell me what you think of Moldova in Eurovision. Are you like me, or are you not like me? Feel free to tell me. And I hope to see you in another video soon. So take care of yourselves until then. Bye.